Everyone, and welcome to another vBrownBag video. I'm here at the Pittsburgh UserCon 2019, and we are going to highlight people in the community that are either new vExperts, that are multi-year vExperts, that are aiming for vExpert. It doesn't matter, we're just looking for community people, get to know them a little bit and see what their impact is. With me I have admin Willie in all the things, as he said yesterday.
In all the things, Twitter.com, whatever.
Yep. Willie, I just want to start with you giving yourself an introduction, you know, the normal one that you give to everybody, and then I'll start digging deeper.
All right, so as you said, I'm admin Willie. I have a real name, but it's weird. So
Jason Williamson.
Yeah, so many sons. So I'm an admin at Sheets. I've been there pretty much my entire professional career. Started on the help desk and rose my way up like a lot of people did, and recently, you know, we've been making the shift at Sheets towards, you know, the DevOps, as everybody's been saying today. You know, trying to get into that next generation of administration. So, you know, we're going to get out of the traditional and into the next generation.
Sounds good. How did you get into IT? Like that first help desk job, how did you get it?
How did I get that job? Or how did I get into it?
Did you study? Did you were you prepared for it? Did somebody just toss you? What happened there?
No, definitely prepared. I'm huge in preparation, all the way back to as far as I can remember. But it was kind of by chance, really, how I got into IT. So I think it was 8th grade. My homeroom teacher was the comp sci teacher for the school. So I'd get in the morning. I was a rural kid, so they bust us in super early. So I had like an hour and a half to kill every morning. So I'd help her troubleshoot monitors, keyboard, whatever. Stuff wasn't working. I'd work with her and get it working. And you know, I kind of always felt like I was an engineer, more mechanical, but I was like, hey, there's a future in this, and it's pretty interesting. So that was it.
Tell us more about the rural setting, because people may not know where the Sheets headquarters is.
That's true. So Sheets is headquartered in Altoona, Pennsylvania, which is pretty much dead center of the state. There's not much there. So the closest house to me growing up was about a mile, I think, and then another mile to the next house and another mile. So even to this day, my parents still live in the house where I grew up. There's no high-speed internet.
Yeah.
No cable, no DSL.
Great way to disconnect and tell people, you know, you can't reach me.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Even the cell service there is incredibly spotty unless you go up to the attic and you stand by the one window.
Oh, wow.
So it's a nice little retreat, but really hard to get into technology when you're growing up like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people are surprised, not only by what I look like, but where I came from and what we're doing with IT in, like I said, a rurally headquartered company.
Okay, so tell me how you've gone from, you said preparation is important. Clearly you have a knack for, if you see something that needs to be done, you help do it. How do you get from that help desk job to being like the lead server guy?
It's being thorough, honestly. So the preparation, making sure you cover your bases before you do anything, I think is a huge part of my success in my career. So when I was on the help desk, I stuck with the customer, I stuck with the issue until I made sure that they were happy, right? And you just keep doing that. And that will work at any level, I think. So even today with these servers, you know, my customers are now developers or application support. Make sure they're satisfied with what they have. Make sure they have everything that they need, and make sure they are good to go. And then you move on. And do the same thing internally. So we're doing a vSphere upgrade, or we're doing any kind of infrastructure backend, even for us. Make sure we're happy with what we ended up with. Don't duct tape it together and just go, yeah, I'll circle back to that when I get time.
Don't create more technical debt if you can't.
Definitely, yeah. Put the icing on the cake, make sure it's done, ship it, and then you can move on.
Customer focus is super important, but what about learning? Because you don't get the skills just by being nice.
That's true. That was probably the toughest thing for us to break into, was how do we learn what to do, right? So you can kind of see what's out there on the internet, but you don't get a feeling for what everybody's talking about, right? Even back then, Twitter kind of wasn't what it is now, and even other platforms weren't what they are now. So we had a hard time breaking into seeing what other companies were doing, because there is no other company out there like us. We're close to Penn State, who we talk to now, geographically close to. So
They do the very different things from an enterprise.
Yeah, it's a much different environment from what we do.
So personally, what do? You, apart from reading on the internet and figuring out the limitations of the internet, did you get books? Did you go to class? How do you convince people to get this help desk guy to start learning about servers?
I did a lot of structured learning. I'm a very structured guy. I like classroom-led instruction, was my preference. But that's just not always feasible. So I'd get about one of those per year. I would try to see the hot new thing. I'd try to learn as much as I could about it, implement it when it made sense. But that can only take you so far. You know what I mean? Reading from a book or learning a written spiel only goes so far. And what's really helped myself and my other teammates in the last year plus is the community, right? So a lot of what we're doing now is community driven. So we take what other companies are doing, right? I learn less, I find now, from the vendor and more from the vendor's customers. Mm-hmm. So what are those people doing with that product? Should I be doing that? And is there any kind of exchange of well, I might implement it a different way, and then they get something back from that as well.
And basically running that idea back to that same people, and they'll give you pros and cons because they have the experience, right? So yeah, that's a great point.
The different experiences and the different perspectives are paying off way more than I would have ever expected. Mm-hmm. Just having a different background in things that you did, even if you're working on the same project, you could tackle it totally differently. And it's really broadened what we're doing at Sheets to see things from as many angles as we can.
Love that you brought up the community because you were awarded the vExpert for the first time.
I was.
Tell us about that journey into vExpert.
So a year ago, I didn't even know what vExpert was, never heard of it. And I've never been worried about certifications. I don't feel like I need to wear a badge.
Not a cert, though.
Well, that style, right? I've never needed a label to prove myself, right? I don't feel like that's important to me. So when I heard about vExpert, I'm like, whatever, another title that I don't need. But once I got into the community more, once I saw what the program was, and it's about building those relationships, I felt like that was something that was more valuable, right? So you obviously helped out a lot in my community participation. So I kind of rejuvenated my Twitter.
I remember pushing you to make a blog. Yeah,
I was going to be polite about it, but it was a violent shove into the community. Because I was really a lurker, right? I was consuming, and I really didn't feel like I had a ton to give back. Maybe little things here or there, but I always felt like everybody's got it figured out, and I'm trying to catch up. But
lots of people coming from rural have that thing that they always see someone else doing things, and exactly what you said. And I think that you got over the mental hurdle really quickly.
Yeah, it's not that you try not to be cocky about it, but you feel more confident. Like, hey, this kid from the farmlands, he can actually hang with these guys from the city and maybe teach them something. So yeah, I've been less shy about participating. So I tweet as much as I can, probably about 10% what you do. So I feel like that's pretty good for a normal person. I have a blog now because you forced me to, and I try to post to it at least monthly. Usually it's every couple weeks. So little things, here's a thing I did, and here's this little catch that hung me up for an hour. Maybe it can save somebody some time.
Exactly.
And if it doesn't, it didn't hurt me at all to put it out there anyway. Yeah. So I do that.
You mentioned little things, and one of the ways I met you was through the Little Hacks. And you so far are the only other city that has created their own chapter. That was pretty awesome. Let's talk a little about Little Hacks, what you were getting out of it, and why you started a chapter.
Yeah, so I was supposed to attend my first hackathon this past year at VMworld, and I ended up sick for the weekend before and still kind of into that Monday. So I just didn't have the gas tank to attend that evening. But you had told me how cool it was going to be, and I had heard post and how cool it was. So I was interested when I saw the little hack going on in Pittsburgh. Still didn't really know what it was, but you guys were like, look, just come hang out. If you don't do anything, just come hang out. You can see what it is. So I did that. I brought some of my team with me, I think, the first time. And
you can name them.
It was fantastic. PA_SRE on Twitter.
Yeah,
Brett.
Exactly.
He's taking this journey with me. He and I are really pushing hard into the next gen. So he and I came out. We attended. I don't know when it was. Fall, I think. Of last year. And it was really cool. So we got to meet Carl better. been introduced to him, but I didn't really know him. So I got to really meet Carl and hang out with him, spend some time with him. Same thing with you and the other attendees of the Little Hack. And it was, just doing cool things. Like, it didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter if it was VMware. Just do cool stuff. So that was really cool. And I liked the free-formness, right? So there was no agenda, there was no goal. It was just do cool stuff and show people, tell people, meet people.
It's a learning together kind of feeling.
Yeah. Because it's like something that you hang up on might be something that somebody else figured out immediately, and vice versa. So trying to build those bridges to share, how to jump those hurdles was huge. And I always feel like the cities, perhaps they're better prepared for an event like that because you have that wealth of not only companies, but
people.
Technical,
it's really
technical
being able
people.
to be able to organize an event and get a minimum attendance is what you get with a city.
So we were like, there's no reason we can't do this for back where we're from. We know that there are technical people here. Not only do we employ a lot of them, but we see them at other companies. But we just don't have that event to bring us together. And, I don't know if it was, the shove into the vCommunity and how welcoming it was. And I don't want to say how easy it was, but really how fluid, right? We came right in, we fit right in, and things took off. So we said, there's no reason we can't do the same thing. So, we talked to the bosses, made sure that we could provide the space, and as soon as we got the green light, we're doing it. We're gonna create the spark in Central PA that nobody has to date, and just we're gonna start doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be anything.
Yeah.
We'll just see what it is.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
I've been to 2 of them. They've been great. Okay, I'll give you a last way to finish the video off. You've come so far in a year, right? You're doing very cool things. What are your objectives? What are your goals from here to the next UserCon?
To the next UserCon.
And I want you to do like technical for yourself,
sure.
Right? Community, whatever, but also what you're doing in Central PA.
So what I want to do for myself, I've been taken from a lurker to a participant, I feel like, right? So still mostly consuming, partially giving back, and I kind of want to just kind of float to the top of that. So I've been pushing Brett, the stuff that we're doing, I want to give it all back. Everything we're doing at Sheets, everything that we're allowed to put out there, we're going to put out there. So he and I have been doing a lot with VRA and VRO, automating server builds, which doesn't sound tough. It was amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of gotchas in that thing.
It's amazing the hurdles we ran into. We've been working for months now just to do provisioning VMs, but I feel like we're doing an all-encompassing build was our goal. And it came with a lot of hurdles. And I told him right from day one, we're not cutting any corners. So I really want to be able to show that back. So I want to start doing presentations. I want to start showing people what we've done, how we've come from this company in the middle of nowhere that was just working inside of a box to community consumers to now community presenters.
Enablers, yeah.
Yeah. We want to do that.
So that's great, and I want to make sure that you know that vBrownBag is right now accepting CFP submissions to give a 12-minute talk in VMworld. So I think that would fit nicely into that. You might even get a free pass out of it.
So I don't want to go too fast.
No,
I definitely think that's in our future, but I don't want to go too fast.
Sorry, you're doing it.
Let's work on the regional level, and then we'll go national.
No, I'll tell you this right now. There is absolutely no difference. You have the command of the English language, and you have internet. That's all you need. That's literally all you need to be able to influence globally.
Both of those come at a high price in central Pennsylvania, so.
Yeah, but seriously, you don't ever think that you have to take this slow. You submit CFPs and let other people tell you no. Okay, so sorry, I know I'm pushing.
That's all right.
All right, so what do you want to finish? Do you want to do any call outs to, let's close up this video. Any call outs back home?
Nah, hot family, they're the ones that really enable all this. So, we never spent a lot of time away from the office before. That's the easy stuff. Everybody goes to work 8 to 5 and comes back home. But they've enabled me to come hang out for a day, 2 days. The first Monday every night, or all night long every Monday, going to these little hacks,
2 hours each way.
The wife has to take care of the kids for all of that. So yeah, they've really been my rock in this.
Awesome. Well, we can finish the video now. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, like we said at the beginning, admin Willie in all the things.
Yeah.
He's a great guy to follow.
Thank you.